You are in the right place. This video, we're talking about Shedeur Sanders' draft status if he declares for the NFL draft in 2024. So, as you all know, the Colorado Buffaloes have a bye week, so I thought this would be a great time to check in. It's basically mid-season. I checked in with the two NFL scouts that I know, and I checked in with two former players that I played with that are now quality control analysts in the NFL, just to get a buzz on what they thought Shedeur, thought of Shedeur through however many games. And it's been mostly positive. I'll go over the positive stuff. They think like short to mid-range passes, his arm talent is elite. His accuracy is elite. Very, very good progression. He has very good feet. It's rumored that he has a 4.6 40. They think he might run a little bit faster than that. That's what they see on tape. Some guys run faster than what they are on tape, but we'll see. He thinks he's in a 4.5 range. He's also very good with running and extending the plays. And he really appreciated my last video because he saw that him being the most sacked quarterback in the college, they actually changed something. And it showed, even though they're not on a daily basis, it showed that Shedeur is coachable. As soon as he hit the back of his drop, if some person got beat, he was changing his launch point and looking to run. He took way less sacks than he had in the prior games, and he wants to see that continue. All right, now I'm gonna just give you the bad. They're very, very emotionless about this. Okay, it's just what the kid is. They're not trying to bash him. It's just what they see on tape. So I'm giving you that right now. So they, of course, everyone knows he holds on to the ball too long. They think that he's going to be improving that, and he's going to be coaching kind of what I was saying before. If someone gets beat, he's going to step up, change the launch point, and try to get the ball out. They still feel he holds on to the ball, and when he holds on to the ball, looks to run, they feel like he doesn't secure it. But again, that's coaching. That's something that can be fixed. All right, that's not a big thing. However, they did talk about his deep balls. His deep balls tend to hang and flutter, which can allow corners, safeties to recover. They also think his completion rate is completely inflated because of the offensive scheme. It's a lot of quick throws, and because of the sacks, they try to get the ball out. So they feel like his true percentage rate is not in the 70s. It's more to the mid to high 60%. But that's still really, really, really good. I mean, you'll take that all day long. If you can have a progression in NFL, get it to the right person, get it to the mismatch, and then go on to the next play, that's what they want you to do. Now, they talk to me about potential team fits, and again, they're not bashing the kid when they say this, all right? If you're not the first or second quarterback, and I'm going to go through rankings in a second, when you get to third, fourth, fifth quarterback, the margins between them are not really that major. It goes to, if you draft the quarterback, say Bryce Young, you draft CJ Stroud, you are building around those two quarterbacks. In certain years, when it goes 3, 4, 5, you're picking the best quarterback that can fit what you already have and can either extend it, expand on it that year or in the years to come if they sit down and learn from a veteran quarterback. So he says Shedeur is more in that realm. This particular person, NFL scout, they just kept it real. He's going to be a first-round draft pick from what he could see if he comes out. Now, he will not be the first quarterback taken or the second quarterback taken. And at that point, again, it goes to the fit of the particular team. Do they want to invest in building around him? No. But can he come in and go from, take our offense and expand on it and hopefully get better as a football team? They said, no, without a doubt, that is what they see happening. So right now, that's completely Caleb. He feels like it'll be Caleb. The other, I will say, a quality control analyst, he basically said it's still a toss-up. He can see somebody falling in love with Drake May out of UNC. So either way, it'll be one, it'll be two. They really consider public opinion sometimes. It's really hard if you're at, say, the Washington Commanders or you're Chicago or something like that, where they really have these larger fan bases and the voices are amplified. They do take that into account. So nobody really knows who Drake May is outside of football. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. When people know who's the best quarterback in the United States, they were like, well, who won the Heisman last year? That's Caleb Williams. No disrespect to Drake at all. So with that being said, I think it'll be 1-2 them, and then it's just going to be a run on the rest of the quarterbacks based on their scheme and their fit. So the scout said it's going to be a free fall. It could be, you know, his biggest competition is Michael Penix, but then there's, you know, Jordan Travis, there's Quinn Evers, and he said a sleeper who I agree with is Chris Pratt out of Tulane. I've seen Chris Pratt play. He is a very capable quarterback and can be a sleeper. He can sneak up into the first round of the draft, no problem. So at that particular point, that's why the interviews are important. They are looking to see, we know what you can do on tape, but there's 2 other people that are comparable to you. Can you fit into our locker room, and can you fit into the what we're trying to do? Now, he kept the quality control analyst really kept it real with me. I'm not going to say what division he's in, but he was like, you know what, fine. He's in the AFC East. I'm not going to say what team he's for. But he was like, he doesn't think Shedeur is going to fit in the locker room, and that's why he thinks he won't even be on the board. And I said, well, hold on. And again, where did that come from? He went through all of his pros, all of his cons, but he said, this is what they don't want to see. And it's not because they don't want him to have no expression or anything like that. They understand his lineage and who he came from. It's mostly you have a locker room full of grown men and you expect him to lead. And if you're doing that type of stuff and that's how they know you to be, it's the past does not bear well. And again, he wasn't bashing the kid. He was just saying what it is. You know, you have people come in with these signature gestures. Johnny Manziel didn't turn out well. You got people coming in with these egos, and I don't know if Shedeur has egos. They have people that have these. They have feelers out. I don't think Shedeur has the ego, but let me say that, a larger ego than need be. But you got people with egos that come out with a chip on the shoulder, and you might have a Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? Like you don't need that. You don't. If you can avoid that and have another quarterback that's under the radar that just goes about his business, they might pick a Penix instead. And that's just what it is in the NFL. So they don't, if you come with a circus, you're not necessarily going to rise up over the other person. You're like, well, we get the same output and we have less of a circus around this person. Because he said, to be real, we draft Deion Sanders' son, it's going to be a lot of media attention. It's going to be a lot of media impressions, and it's not always going to be positive. It's always might be negative. And then you got to understand, can he lead men? Can he lead men doing that type of stuff? Can he lead his teammates? He basically said that type of stuff is immature. And I'm like, he's a college kid, and he's, you know, it's college football. They're heated. And he says, yeah, but those things are hard to break. Look at some of the things he's done. You know, these little things, getting back and forth. He'll pull somebody's mouthpiece out or push somebody, or, you know, that type of stuff. And I get it. I respected it. But he says he thinks Shedeur won't even be on his board based on some of the diamonds, the flashiness, the gestures, some of the things he's done on the field. And that's their business. I think they're going to miss out on a great opportunity if they have a chance to draft this kid. But with that being said, he did give me a few teams, but I want to start with my NFL scout. He's an NFL scout in the NFC North, and he said to me, he has heard that the Lions are in love with the kid, and it makes a lot of sense. Brad, the GM up there, Brad Holmes, knows what he's doing with that program, that franchise and that team, hiring former NFL players. They know how to acclimate him. They have no quarrels with somebody coming in with personality. That's why they wanted CD Deuce in their locker room. They know they can manage whatever kind of personality you can come up with. As long as you show up to work, as long as you show up to grind, that grit type of stuff, they love this kid. They love how he goes about the game. They love what he does. And the system they have, the offensive system, really tailors his skill set. And from what my understanding, they have a lot of confidence in Jared Goff being able to be mature. He's shown that that type of stuff won't intimidate him. Them bringing in a first-round draft pick, because they're drafting for depth. They're really good this year, and they want to continue to be good for years and years and years to come. So this first-round draft pick, it'll be a forecast kind of thing. So if Shedeur hangs out at, you know, in the outside of the top 15, he's in 20-something range, Detroit's going to take him no problem, and they will not be apologetic about him. They will turn his name in and have a Alex Smith, Pat Mahomes kind of situation. Jared Goff, you're going to be starter, and they can bring Shedeur along as a succession plan, and whenever he's ready, they'll let him take the reins, and Jared Goff will, you know, go to another team just like Alex Smith did. That's what the NFL scout told me. He said the Lions are #1 on the radar. But let me go over the other teams. The other team that came up was Atlanta. You know, Prime is putting a lot of pressure on Atlanta. You saw him say that the other day. We'll come back to Atlanta if you bring both the Sanders back. Sounding like LeVar Ball or somebody. So the Falcons were on the radar because the kid, unfortunately, Desmond Ridder is just not the answer there. I mean, you took him in whatever late round, and he's performing like you would think a late round quarterback would perform. The draft isn't an exact science. You know, I understand Tom Brady went in the 6th round, but that's an anomaly more than the norm. So the Falcons will be in the running. Everybody knows the Bears are going to be changing, you know, direction and quarterback. I don't think Shedeur is going to be in that conversation, because if Chicago has #1 pick, they're going to take either Drake May or Caleb Williams, and probably Caleb. Another sleeper team he told me about is the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots know that Mac Jones is not going to work. And I was like, well, hold on. You just told me about not character concerns, but people worrying about whether he's flashy or not. And he said, man, Bill don't care. He doesn't. And I was like, well, how can you say that? He's like, look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton came in with a very similar cachet, a bigger kind of name. He wore things however he wanted, had, you know, jewelry, however he wanted to hold himself. As long as you show up, Bill didn't care. Bill Belichick didn't care. So he said he thinks the Patriots would have him on the board, and if he's there in the 1st round, and they won't go up or down. That's not how the Patriots do it. If he falls to the Patriots, he could see them taking Shedeur. Now the Commanders as well. So the Commanders are, I think it'll behoove them to think about not moving on, but moving Sam Howell to the back seat, just like they did with Taylor Heineke, because he's not the guy, and it's okay. They gave it a shot. He does have ability. He needs more seasoning. That's fine, but I can see them bringing in Shedeur. But my scout did say if there was ever a team that would trade away their future this year for Caleb Williams, it would be the Commanders. New owner and 2 past practice. They've done it before. They gave a way to farm to get RG3. I mean, it didn't work out, but the past practice is there. They're willing to do so. The fan base is accustomed to doing so. And the third part about it, he thinks they'll make a major trade, or they'll try to make a major trade, because Caleb Williams is a DC kid. A new owner, new face of the franchise, trying to get, you know, new stadium or whatever they want to do there. So you could definitely see Caleb going to the Commanders, and the Commanders actually selling the farm. So that may not be a destination for Shedeur. The maybes, we'll see how it goes. Cardinals, they are a lot of rumblings that they're going to move on from Kyler Murray if they get the right prospect. Could that right prospect be Shedeur? I don't know. Really interesting pick, the Vikings. The Vikings are in the last year with Kirk Cousins. They are looking to have something firm. Shedeur, I think, would fit in well with Justin Jefferson and all the pieces they have around there, so that would not surprise me. Last team I'm going to talk to you about are the Raiders and the Buccaneers, actually, too. So the Raiders for sure. Jimmy Garoppolo went to the hospital today because of his back. They want stability. That is what they're looking for. Josh McDaniels can take a quarterback prospect that is stable. The most stable prospect in the whole draft to me is Shedeur. Like, hands down. He's not going to turn the ball over. He'll take a hit. I don't think he'll want to do that in NFL because these are grown men, but he will not turn the ball over as much as possible. So I think if you want a prospect that can work with Josh McDaniels, I think it'll be Shedeur. Plus, by the way, Tom Brady's there. Whether he's going to be a minority owner or not, which some of the owners are balking at, he's going to be around the facility, and he's a Brady athlete. He's going to be in the room saying, take this guy. Find a way to get Shedeur Sanders in the building. And the last team that I talk about, yeah, we're the Buccaneers. It's just Baker Mayfield's there, so they're gonna, if he brought in whatever quarterback, they plan on drafting a quarterback and bringing that quarterback room along. So if Baker Mayfield ends up being the guy, that's great. If he doesn't, they want to at least have a prospect in the fold. That's what I heard from my NFL people, is the midseason check-in. Again, it's really unfortunate that Shedeur's, just his personality, that's how he holds himself, you know, can turn some teams off. And, you know, it is what it is. I think that they're missing an opportunity for a kid that can really play the position. He's 6'2", 200-something pounds. The scout that I know really well thinks he's going to run closer to 4.5 than 4.6. The kid can run, get you out of a lot of jams. He's going to look to throw before he looks to run. And the guy's smart, just super smart, can learn an offensive system and bring your franchise along. If I had to place a bet, it would be, from outside looking in, if I had to place a bet, I would think it would be the Raiders. I mean, I really do like them. My scout person told me about the Lions, and it made a whole lot of sense. So I could see those two battling. So it's going to be interesting if he declares for the draft. We'll see. Heritage Sports.